Hello everyone and welcome back to another preview. This week, Cox Plate Day, also Manikato Stakes night, and races around the country on the Saturday and potentially on the Friday. We'll see how we go as we see how we went last week. 6 out of 10 winners. I'm counting Vaselina as a winner because it was in the drum kit run top 3 and it ran third. Paid $7 the place. That was the highlight, even though it wasn't a winner. If you level stake him, it's 82% return on investment, so I've set the bar high. Hopefully we can keep rolling into this week. We'll start with early cash, trying to find a winner from races 1 to 3 around the country somewhere. Last week we got the early cash with Brave Mead at Caulfield, and this week I'm actually going to Doomben, and it's race 3, number 9, Serial Offender. This filly, trained by Matthew Dale. Matthew Dale's a trainer in Sydney, brings it up to Queensland for a shot at this 2-year-old quality race, where most of these 2-year-olds have been running against themselves. All the Mashani horses have been running against each other in some 2-year-old races, and I reckon on debut this better than ready filly for Matty Dale can strike, and I think it brings some different form in. Even though it hasn't run yet, it brings an X factor into this race, and I'm hoping it can get the job done. We'll get on now to the plays of the day, night from the Valley this weekend. Only play last week was General Bow, and that was well backed but didn't do too well. So hopefully we can bounce back this week. 1 from Friday night, 2 from Saturday. So we'll start with the Friday night one, and I like race 8, number 7, Far Flung. This horse has a terrible map considering it's in the Valley, draws 11, gets back. But I'm hoping it can replicate what it did 2 back in the Valley, where it absolutely stormed down the outside to win a benchmark 70 over 1500. Step up to 1600 looks ideal from that. Has had a run since then, ran in the benchmark 80 behind Mac 2 at Caulfield on Caulfield Guineas Day. Didn't go too well, but started the favourite on that occasion. And I think considering the SP, it's down in class. It's back in distance from the 17 to the 16, which I think is a bonus. It's won 2 times at 1600 before. Hopefully the fence the outside lanes can come into play by that stage of the night. Damien Lane on, who's riding better than him at the moment. Hopefully can storm down the outside and win. We'll jump ahead to race 6 at the Valley on Saturday. It's the Fillies Classic at Group 2 level over the 1600 metres. Now I haven't put this horse in the drum kit segment because I'm that confident that this horse can win on Saturday that I've made it one of the plays of my day. Grinzinger Bell. It's currently at $35 and I've made it a play of the day. I'll tell you why. So last Saturday it ran in the Ethereal Stakes behind Autumn Angel and Tropical Squall. Finished 5.5 lengths off Autumn Angel. Alright, you think not great. But when you look into it deeper, it made a sustained run from the 8 to the 400 last Saturday and peaked on its run late. That was over 2,000 metres. Now drops back to the 1,600 metres. Which I think suits ideally. It ran third, 2 back at 1600 behind Kona Sana, who ran pretty well behind Autumn Angel last Saturday in the Ethereal Stakes. This horse gets Zach Purton on. Zach Purton, probably one of the best jockeys going around at the Valley on Saturday, has flopped out the machine its past 2, which is unlike it, but one thing it does possess is a lot of early speed, and I think I'll know at the 1,000 metre mark. If it's outside the leader, I don't think it misses top 3. I think if it goes back, it's little to no chance of winning. This horse, and just a heads up, the last 3 winners of the Fillies Classic, in 2020, Yes Baby Yes, was on the week back up. In 2021, Mokalua was on the week back up. In 2022, Zoe's Promise was a week and a half between runs with no horse on the backup last year. This horse is on the backup. It's one of the outsiders of the field, and I think it deserves to be a lot shorter. The last one of them is race 7, the Drummond Golf Vase at Group 2 level for the 3-year-olds over the 2,000 metres, and I'm really confident. Best of the day, best of the weekend, this horse. Getting into Brave Mead sort of territory confidence levels here. It's number 3, Verdad. This horse finished 4 lengths behind Griff last done in the Caulfield Guineas. Got to about midfield or so, but with the tempo that was set by Griff, it was never going to get that horse. This horse was really good through the line in the Caulfield Guineas before copping that interference over the line when Griff wandered out. And before this was good in the Stud Stakes, finishing 0.3 lengths behind Griff, and third in that race was Autumn Angel, and we know what that horse has come out and done. I reckon this horse has a lot of ability. It's had 3 career starts to date, and it's been good. It's been amazing in all 3 of them. This horse, considering it ran a Group 1 last start, it's the classiest horse in the field. Draws gate 6, Bowman's will put it in an on-speed position. I think the 2,000 metres looks to suit this horse. Best of the day, best of the weekend. Get on now. We'll now move on to Drum Kit.
It's going to be an absolute boil-over.
Looking for a horse that can run the top 3 over the odds above $10 that you can back each way. 3 of them lined up for this week. We were successful last week with Basalina, and Willinga Beast was really close to the first 3, but we'll move on to this week. We'll start Moonee Valley Friday night, race 3, number 2, Cooled. This horse, I think, will or should or could run top 3 at the Valley on Friday night, I should say. 2 starts ago, this horse finished 0.3 lengths behind What a Deal and Buse at Sandown. If What a Deal or Buse was in this race, it'd start really short, and this horse wasn't too far off him. Has since come out at Ballarat and was probably disappointing behind Give Giggles and Power Missile, but this horse draws 3 for an economical run. Blinkers first time. I think it's over the odds. We'll now move on to the feature on Friday night, the Moonee Valley Gold Cup over the 2,500 metres at Group 2 level. And I reckon this horse is over the odds, number 11, Shiraz. Now, this horse is 4th up off a year off. And in all runs this campaign, it hasn't got smashed, but it hasn't been close either. Now, I think dropping down in weight to the 55 kilos. Gate 4 can settle a little bit closer for John McNeil. 4th up, I think it's ready to peak. At its best, we know what it's capable of. When it was first up last spring, it finished about 3/4 of a length off Emissary, and that horse then came out and ran second behind Gold Trip in the Melbourne Cup. I think if this horse is at its best, it can definitely run a minor spot. Race 4 on Saturday at the Valley is the Crockett Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies at listed level over 1,200 metres, and I reckon this horse is over the odds. And it's right down the bottom, number 14, Gumdrops for Price Kent Jr. and Damien Lane takes the ride. Now, Damien Lane rode both this horse to victory last start in a maiden and stablemate Floozy. Floozy, I think, won more impressively out of the 2, but Damien Lane's decided to ride this horse, Gumdrops, and when early prices opened, Floozy was $9 and Gumdrops was $26, and I thought, well, that's immediate value that you can go off on that stat. Gumdrops, I think, has shortened since then, but it won a maiden at Ballarat where the form out of it's been really strong. From gate 5, it should get an economical run up on speed, and I reckon it represents value. We'll now move on to the quaddie, and last week we were so close, made it to the last leg, didn't get Lem Picker. It was a big quaddie last week and rode to Arataki, Buffalo River, and without a fight won, but we just couldn't get the last leg. So it's onwards and upwards to this week. It's a little bit more skinnier, but since I did the printouts and whatnot, Le Parain has come out of the last race, so 2x6x3 is 36, so it's $36 for 100%, so ignore the figure up the top already. But race 7, I'm confident, straight out, 1 out, Verdad. Then in race 8, everyone in Australia is going to have Imperatriz 1 out, but just in case something happens, I think Uncommon James is a good chance, so I'm throwing Uncommon James in there. 6 of them in the Cox Plate as I try to remember them all. Romantic Warrior, Alligator Blood, Gold Trip, Fangirl, Victoria Road, and Militarize. And then my risk in the last leg is taking on the favourite Mahaba, going Barber, Archo, Nacho, and Schwarz. So that's what we're doing for the quaddie this week. We'll now move on to Around the Country. Last week when we did this segment, 4 from 4 last week, so let's hope we can continue the form bowl rolling. And we're going to start at Doomben, race 5, number 6, Hell of a Barty for the Queensland Rogues. I think this horse is first up, and I think it's a really classy horse. I think it's better than Benchmark 68 Company. Draws 9, so we'll be away from the inside, out of trouble, steaming down the outside, and hopefully it can win. We'll then move on to race 9 at Doomben. It's number 11, Eagles Crag. It's short, but I think it'll win. Finished behind Cotty last start, and Cotty came out and won last week when we tipped it on Around the Country, and I think that's the right form. Draws gate 1, has got the lightweight, can get an economical run, just needs luck in the straight. I think it'll be winning. Now jumping over to Randwick, only 1 from Randwick, but I'm very confident. I reckon it's a great bet and over the odds. In race 8, the Invitation, I'm going with number 6, Roots. I reckon this horse is over the odds. Came back first up in the Allen Brown. In track record time, Cepheus set and was storming home from the back. Now drawn gate 4, I think it can settle a little bit closer than what it did first up. I reckon it's fitter off the first up run. Tommy Berry sticks with it. It was only in June this year where it finished second behind Palaisapan in the Group 1 Tats Tiara Stakes, so that form line holds up well for a race like this. It's proven over 1600, so I think we'll be able to run out a very strong 1400. I really like Roots. Moving over to Ascot now, and this horse I was with in the Last Man Standing a couple of weeks ago, and she did the job. Race 8, number 11, Augment, backing up. I reckon this is a very, very classy filly by Exceed and Excel, and I think it can continue to excel through the grades and win here. It is a step up in grade, but I think it can take it with authority. Was a length and a half winner last start. Patrick Carberry sticks. Draws 4 for an economical run on the minimum. Reckon it's a great chance. It's that time of the week. It's Last Man Standing, and finally, after so many months of waiting, the fourth and final member has joined up. So a big round of applause and welcome to Sammy. Sammy has come in and he is starting on 0 as everyone did. And that puts him at a $300 lead. I'm in second, not too far behind. Geordie got without a fight last week, so he's right back in it. And Sky High Horse Racing, who was only in front 2 weeks ago, now finds himself at the back of the field. This might take a bit of time for me to remember, so I'll try my best. But Sky High Horse Racing is up first. He's spending $250. He's going $100 win multi, Frilled into She Dances, Wishlor Lass, Imperatriz, and last but not least, Super Smink. He's also going 50 the win on Super Smink and 25 each way on the 2 Queensland Rogues in Hell of a Barty and Larrikin Rouge. We'll now move on to Geordie. He's having 200 the win on Espiona. He's also having 50 each way on Armed Forces, 50 the place on Buenos Noches, and 50 the win on Mr. Brightside. I'm going for a 400 spend. Very keen Verdad, 200 the win on that horse, 75 the win on Roots, a $55 win multi, Verdad into Roots, 25 each way on Grinzinger Bell over the odds in race 6 at the Valley, and 10 each way on a horse that I like the pedigree of, running in the last at Scone, race 8, number 14 True Gem, 10 each way, and Sammy for his first week, he's going 100 the win on Snowman at the Valley to beat Verdad, and 100 the place on Zaki in the Cox Plate. So that's what we're doing for Last Man Standing this week. It's now time for the Get Out Stakes, and I'm going to the last at Randwick. Race 10, number 4, Gringotts. It's short, but I think it'll be winning. This horse draws the pole position, gate 1, can settle around midfield or so, was good from the back behind Super Helpful and Kobe last start. I think this horse is ready to win this campaign, and I'm happy to have it in the last at Randwick. That's going to do it for this week's preview. Hopefully I've tipped you into a winner. Hopefully you back plenty of winners yourself. And I'll see you all next week for what's going to be an absolute blockbuster Derby Day weekend.